Today, we're going to get into a really fascinating thought experiment, something called the paradox of perfection. What actually happens when we finally get everything right?
No, really, just take a second and think about that. What if we lived in a world where every single scientific mystery was solved, every question answered, every single problem just fixed? It sounds amazing, right? A total utopia. But as we're about to find out, the reality is probably a whole lot weirder. All right, so let's just imagine this future. The human drive for discovery, it's done. It's reached the finish line. There are no new frontiers to explore, no mind-blowing inventions left to create. Science, as a process, is basically complete.
Now, your first reaction might be, okay, so what? I mean, most of us aren't scientists, right? We've got our jobs, our families, our hobbies. You'd think that the end of scientific research wouldn't really change all that much for the average person.
But that idea, as logical as it sounds, is really just an illusion. The truth is, all the amazing things that come from scientific discovery are so woven into our daily lives that we barely even notice them anymore. And if they stopped, everything would change.
So to really get why, we need to look a little closer at this sort of invisible foundation that our whole world is built on. You're about to see just how deep, and honestly, how surprisingly, science is in literally everything you do.
Let's start with something super mundane. How about that pile of laundry you've been putting off? You probably don't think of it as a scientific marvel, but trust me, it absolutely is.
Think about it. Your washing machine is like this incredible symphony of science. You've got physics with the laws of thermodynamics making the dryer work. You have electricity powering the whole thing. Chemistry is in the detergent, of course, and even biology plays a part, because we had to identify the germs we want to get rid of in the first place.
All right, let's do another one. Your daily commute. That car you're driving? Yeah, it's way more than just a metal box with wheels. I mean, from the engineering that gets power to the wheels, to the special metal alloys that make up the car's body, and get this, all the way to the astrophysics that makes the satellites for your GPS even possible. Every single piece is a product of this constant push for discovery.
So, this leads to the big question. What happens when all of this incredible progress finally hits the end of the road? This is where we run into what we're calling the perfection trap. Just picture it. You get the perfect car. It's called the final. Because, well, it can't be improved. It's perfectly safe, perfectly efficient. It's the absolute peak. There is nothing better coming, ever.
And it's the same thing with your phone. When your old one finally gives out, you just get another identical one. Why? Because it's already perfect. There's no next big thing to wait for. This is it.
And this just spreads to everything. Your kitchen appliances, your medicine, your whole life. It's all been optimized, perfected, and is now completely unchanging. It's the final version.
And here is the absolute key to all of this. Our joy, our pleasure, it doesn't really come from having the perfect thing. It comes from the journey to it. You know that feeling of getting an upgrade? Going from something okay to something a little bit better? That transformation, that is where we find all the satisfaction.
Without that feeling of progress, life just becomes a loop. You use the one perfect laundry detergent. You drive the one perfect car. You eat the one perfect food. There's zero variety, zero novelty. Today is exactly the same as yesterday, and you know with 100% certainty that tomorrow is going to be the same too.
Man, that sounds, it sounds incredibly boring, doesn't it? But in this perfectly stagnant world, a really strange, very human solution starts to pop up. And this is what we'll call the joy of imperfection.
People would actually start to break the perfection on purpose. They'd choose to make and use things that they know are not the best. And that sounds completely crazy, but there's actually a really deep psychological reason why we would do this. Just look at this breakdown. On the one side, you've got perfection. Yeah, it's 100% optimal, but it also has zero novelty, total predictability, and that leads to just dullness. Now, on the other side, you've got imperfection. Okay, maybe it's slightly lower quality, sure, but it brings back novelty. It brings back surprise, diversity, and variety.
See, the problem with a perfect world isn't a physical one, it's a psychological one. This whole idea points to a basic human need. Without surprise, without a little challenge, or even the small pleasures of things getting better, life just loses its color. It becomes this silent burden.
And here it is, the central paradox. The only cure for perfection is to bring back a little bit of struggle. A slightly less efficient car,
A product that isn't quite flawless. It turns out that a little bit of friction, a little bit of imperfection, is exactly what we need to feel that joy of progress again. So this whole thing, it brings the question right back to us, doesn't it? It stops being some far-off sci-fi idea and becomes a really personal question about what it is we actually want out of life. And that's what I want to leave you with. If everything in your life was completely perfect, with no room left to grow or change, would you have the guts to choose something a little bit worse, just to feel the joy of something new again? It's a tough one to think about.